and then Bill, you're going to start us off.
All right, this is our podcast for the week. We're doing the Bank on Purpose. I'm Texas Bill, and this is Jody Ogden. We have Ron Mora here with us today, and he's an investor and a commercial buyer and a lender. So we have the privilege of seeing him today.
And Ron has an amazing story about how he started investing, how he grew his money safely, and how private lending changed his future. So, Ron, tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Sure. And first, thanks for having me on the podcast, guys. It's great to be here. Appreciate the time you've taken to talk to me today. All right. I'm originally from Chicago and moved out to Arizona back in 2017. And I had spent my career in the IT sector for over 25 years and going from various positions, elevating my career and basically evolving in my role through different companies. And my last role was with a company that was actually based in Boston, and my last position was something called a senior site reliability engineer. What is that, right? That's basically a cloud engineer. Now you might ask yourself again, what is that? So it's someone that handles the infrastructure of e-commerce sites using code and using other resources that we use through Amazon Web Services or AWS or other platforms that Microsoft has that's called Azure. I think Google has one as well. So yeah, the Google Cloud Platform. So my role was just basically to manage that and fend off any intruders that would try to do harm with our e-commerce sites. So there was some security involved. There's a lot of technological stuff. So that was my last role. And I have been kind of on and off with real estate over the years. I used to be a real estate agent back in Illinois when I lived in the when I lived in the Chicago area. And got my license in '05, survived the bubble in '08, and eventually let my license expire in 2022 after I had moved to Phoenix. Mostly because I just did not want to pursue being an agent out in Arizona. It wasn't my passion, wasn't my calling. Why I didn't want to do it, basically. Um, but I still had a love and passion with real estate. I don't know, maybe watching too many HGTV shows, probably. But uh, that being said, I've also was coming at a crossroads in my career path, and knowing that I'm at this point, this was back in 2023, I was laid off from a job back in 2021 um, for the job that I actually had moved to Arizona for and contracted for a little bit, and then eventually got picked up by another company for full-time employment and stayed there up until I left in October of 2024. But in 2023, I was already starting to feel like I don't want to go through this again. I just knew that there was eventually going to happen, as all things do, especially person in my 50s at the time. So, technically, I am still in my 50s. But I just didn't want to go through the whole process of interviewing again through another role that I just wasn't enjoying anymore. And I had made such a good, successful career out of being in the IT space, but it just wasn't serving any purpose. I just did not have a love for it anymore as I did when I first got into it. And then those crossroads were like, well, what else can you do? What else do you want to do? And I had a conversation with a friend of mine who was doing real estate investing, and he suggested, well, why don't you do some real estate investing? So we had a great conversation about it. He had an affiliate with a education platform that I looked into, did some research on. Eventually, I signed up and got involved. That was my first real estate investing community I got involved with. And basically started learning all the things, right? So that was in late 2023, and then in early 2024, I started kind of like starting to accelerate things. Make got my first S corp put together, and started to dive deeper more into what real estate investing is all about. Eventually found a business partner that I did my JV with on my first fix and flip. We purchased the property in August. It was a luxury townhouse in Tempe, Arizona, which is about a few miles south of Arizona State University. So it was a great location. It was right off the freeway. And so we thought that this was going to be a great fix and flip, right? My first project. Super excited about it. Rehab took 5 weeks. So we got it back on the market pretty quick, except the market turned and things kind of sat for quite some time. But coupled with that, turned out that my business partner wasn't so good, let's just say, and it turned into a bad experience overall. And then coupled with bad realtors that we had initially, um, that wasn't marketing the property properly, so we weren't getting any foot traffic, and they wouldn't listen to pretty much anything that I had suggested to them. So that was just bad all around. Eventually, we did sell the property in June of this year in 2025. So it was sat on the market for about 9 months. Terrible. We took a loss on it. But what I learned from that experience was to how I properly vet my business partners for any future JVs that I will be doing. I'm pretty sure I will be doing. So big learning lessons. Um, so yeah, losing money wasn't fun, but it happens. It happens to everybody. And in the meantime, I was doing some private money lending initially as well. That happened late last year as well, and I'm running into problems with that. Now, I've had a bad experience with all of them. I've had some good experiences with some borrowers that have actually already paid back with interest as promised, which has been great. So that experience has been good. And what I liked about that experience is the relationship that I had formed with this person before we got into that transaction. So, number one, relationships and having that, warm, touchy feeling about it is always good. Obviously, you want to vet the person, right? I think we all can agree on that.
Yep.
The learning lesson I'm taking from this other borrower who hasn't paid me back yet, so that's still pending. And so uh, that hasn't, I haven't lost the money completely yet. There's still just hasn't paid back yet, and he's way overdue. He defaulted back in February, so it's been I don't know. We're in October now, so still dealing with that, unfortunately. But at least he hasn't ghosted me completely, so it's still on the forefront. And unfortunately, I have to look into some litigation actions that I may need to take with this person, which is unfortunate. You never want to have to go through that. And if at all avoidance, I, yeah, definitely would do that. But that lesson I learned from that experience is that when you're the lender doing the private money lending, then you want to make sure that you're the one handing that promissory note to the borrower, right? Don't take the promissory note from the bar. Don't sign a note that the borrower is giving you. You want to make sure that you're giving your promissory note to that borrower saying, hey, this is what you say. The language is a lot more directed and stated for the state that you're in. Because if I'm lending money to someone else in a different state, like for instance, this person, he's in Florida. I signed his promissory note that is all Florida legal language,
Oh,
and
so
they're very
now,
different. What's that?
so now your legality stuff you have to hit in Florida instead of Arizona, right? So making it that much
Yep.
more of a headache for you to wow. That's a good, I mean, bad
Yes.
lesson to have to learn, but it's a good lesson for somebody that's just getting into lending to know. So obviously you stepped out
Absolutely.
a great career and then into this realm and whatnot. What was the fear in changing positions as far as stepping out of that great career and into real estate right off, Ron?
Because real estate investing, when I first got into it, it gave me a better purpose. It gave me a better sense of direction, and it also was going to give me the opportunity to control my own destiny. Whereas if I would have stayed in corporate America, your life is controlled by someone else that may deem that your position is no longer required, and they may eliminate your position, or they may downsize you, whatever it is. I don't want to deal with that anymore, right? So I'm just now taking back control of that for me, and going forward, I'm using real estate as that vehicle to get me to that place.
Sweet. So why real estate instead of a different vehicle? I mean, for you personally.
Because there's many different facets of real estate that I could build wealth with, right? I can hold property, I can invest in multifamily if I wanted to, and or do flipping, right? So that all offers the opportunity to earn some a good active income, and you can actually build a business out of it, and it's pretty popular out here, right? So I'm in Arizona. Pace Morby is huge person in the community. You guys know that.
Yeah.
So he's I go to a couple meetups about once a month or so that I always run into other sub two folks, and super super great people, and they're always very friendly. So it's nice to connect and network with them and just kind of get a pulse on where things are at. So I honestly, I really didn't want to do anything else. There were other things I could have done. Yeah, maybe I could have started up a business or a service or product, and I just wasn't interested in that. For me, it's all about building relationships. I really enjoy networking, and for me, I thought this was the best of both worlds, right? If I want to be successful in real estate, I got to get my name out there and start shaking hands, almost like a politician, right? So it's just a great marriage, we'll just say. So I mean, obviously it has its good days, bad days, like anything else, right? But when you're building something from scratch, so that's why I picked on real estate as my thing to do.
Gotcha. Well, obviously, right out the gate, it sounds like you've had enough challenges and whatnot. And most people that would let that stop them. I feel seems like you're just okay. It's just another day now. I got to step through it. But what's the process to get? I mean, that's a mindset, right? And so, what's
Mhm.
the process that you get your mindset through from taking a hit to moving forward to take the next step instead of saying like, okay, no more partners ever again for that instance, instead of that to say, like you said, I'm sure I'll do it in the future, and this is going to help me learn how to vet them better. So, what's that process like for you?
Yeah, so the process for me is that I guess part of it is my personality. I always see the better in people. I don't, not to say that the person I did my first JV with, he's a bad person. He's not a bad person. He's a good person. He just made some bad decisions, made some bad choices. So that is the kind of person. And had I known how to vet him better by just asking questions, I probably would never gone into the JV with him to begin with. But this is my first one. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
So it's one of those you learn by doing, trial and error, and you just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and you just keep going. You keep going forward. And there's no going back for me. I mean, honestly, I don't want to go back. So I have taken the mindset as like, not every person's going to be like this person. So, like, and it also comes back to building that relationship, just trying to get to know the person on every way possible, and just asking all the hard questions too, right? Because when you go into that type of partnership, especially on a business, you want to make sure that all the things are laid out, spelled out, whether that's in a contract, whether that's in an agreement, operating agreement. You have your roles clearly defined, right? And so make sure that there's nothing left not mentioned, said, well, you said you were going to do this. Well, I assumed you do that. I don't want any assumptions going forward for this. So, no, no, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what you're going to do, and we're going to hold each other accountable to it. So, you know, we try to do the best we can, right, with the relationships that we make, and will the next business partner or JV I come across turn into a lifelong business thing? No idea. Maybe, maybe not. It could be a one and done, and that's fine too. But I want at least that one and done experience to be um, better, right? So more, my eyes are much more wide open going forward. So yeah, but Jody, you're absolutely right. It's a strong mindset, and you're right. A lot of people probably would have been like, "Oh, I tried, and I don't think this is for me." So I don't know what else I can do. I guess I'll try something else, and or I'll go back to my W-2, which is what a lot of people would do.
Yeah.
So
A lot of people that first hit, it's done. We're
yeah,
stepping through. It's a big deal. Yeah, basically one of the first deals I lent on was I lent in two different ways, and I made the mistake. It's my mistake. I didn't. I was smart enough to go see about the laws in the state I was lending the money to the guy in, and so I have the bonus side of always a repercussion because of how I worded everything. It was my document, so that was fortunate that I was smart enough to do it that way. Unfortunately, I didn't secure it enough, if you know what I mean. And so,
yep,
but that's where that relationship comes into matter, is because we still talk. Now we don't talk on a regular basis like we were during the deals that were flowing and whatnot, but we still talk. And it's because of his character, he's the one that's bringing up, hey, this is how I'm trying to get this done. And through life's challenges and whatnot, yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I might have to go for legal action some way, but that relationship matters enough that, in this instance, it's been 2 years and yes, it's dragging on, but at some point I may do it. But because the relationship's there, I'm more lenient. And of course, at the same time, he's like, look, we'll add this much more to the bottom line. I'm going to take care of you. It's just a matter of something's got to go right, which
right,
um, he literally called me out of the blue yesterday and suggested a different market because he's in California and trying to make stuff happen out there. And of course, you know how stuff is out there to begin with, anyway. And so, um, at least, like I said, the relationship and he's trying there makes a difference. And you don't want to jump; you want to avoid it by in the front side. So that's the learning lesson I got now as a borrower now. I know that we need everything that we can figure out to do on the front side done right and everything on the back side so we don't have this. And
right.
and of course I want to try to protect other people's money just the same as I would have wanted mine or I wish I would have known to do with mine. So that's a bonus. So
For sure.
if you were telling somebody that was just coming into the business and they were going to, let's say they were doing lending, because I think that's the best way to get started into real estate, what would you say was the first processes they should look at to learn so they don't do something stupid like I did, even though I knew better, and step in and throw money at where it wasn't the securest?
Well, you want to make sure that whatever you're going to lend out, right? You want to make sure that those terms are clearly defined. Obviously through a promissory note and the security, how that note will be set. Whether that's through real estate or whatever vehicle, you want to make sure that there is security there. For a first timer, I would totally suggest that they make sure that that note is secured by real estate. I wouldn't go with a personal guarantee or anything like that because that way, I think you're putting yourself in like a third position from anything else, right? So, um, yeah, that would be my big for first timers. Absolutely. You know, whatever they're comfortable. Oh, the other thing is that they have to be comfortable, like not seeing that money come back, right? Whether that's 5,000, 10,000, whatever, because there's that risk, right? There's always risk when you're lending money out. So you got to be good with like, oh, hey, we were hoping for the best, except things changed. This happened, that happened, and we couldn't get all your money back, or we couldn't get any of it back. They have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And if they're not, then they shouldn't do it then.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's 100%. You shouldn't, don't loan anything you can't afford to lose. At the same time, that's where I think that again, that relationship comes in. We all three have a mutual friend that she was in a spot that uh, she was helping get capital for a deal, and it ended up losing big. I mean, huge big. I mean, we're talking millions of dollars big. She ended up, or they ended up losing really the reality of it. And she's took it as her personal responsibility to make sure that money gets paid back, whether it takes 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. That's her, the personality. And of course, that relationship with them, she counts as more important than any dollar amount. So that's going to matter with the person, you know, more to me as a lender. I want somebody that their word is their bond, but knowing that when something goes awry, they're going to do whatever they can to help fix it. That's just the right person to deal with, if you ask me.
Mm,
So, I mean, yeah, it's a risk, but at the same time, it's that relationship can make or break whether I'm going to jump in there or not. You know what I mean?
absolutely. I mean, yeah, I agree with you, Jody, on that the word is your bond thing, but it also depends on how well you know that person too, right? So if it's someone that I am just starting to get to know, and then we try to go into a business relationship where, they're the borrower and I'm the lender, then I don't do the word as your bond thing.
Well,
So
no, no. When I say the word is the bond, I don't mean that you
yeah,
don't do all the paperwork, the due diligence, and stuff like that. Because
right.
I think the way Pace words that is the best. Is I don't care if I'm loaning it to my grandma. I'm gonna do all my due diligence. So
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
it,
exactly. Yeah,
so the friendship matters, but I'm not going to not do it right again just because of
right.
the relationship. It just makes me feel better when that kind of a person you're dealing with versus one that, oh well, I lost it, and now
Right.
they're on to their next deal or their next with no thought of what's in the past or doing what's right. That's the person I would just rather not deal with. So. So, how has private lending impacted your retirement planning yourself? Ron?
So, I still have an active lend out from my self-directed IRA on a luxury home in Fountain Hills, Arizona, which is a very nice area, very nice community. And that one is about ready to be put back on the market. So, matter of fact, I'm meeting with the realtor investor this afternoon to get some paperwork signed on it. So, so far that it's been long. It was purchased in January, it was supposed to be on back on the market on May, but there were delays and the town had they had one person that was signing all of the permits, so there was a backlog of permits. So it was like this was a luxury property, right? So she did a lot of stuff to it. So, and also, furniture she's getting staged in there is going to be super nice. So so that's why it's been taking a bit longer than normal. And but the good news is the market that that house is located in is still a strong seller's market, even during the downtime, which technically you in other areas, other markets, when starts to get fall and winter, things slow down. Arizona, things start to heat up because we got the snowbirds coming back. So it's just almost like reversed. So which is good. So hopefully that that trend will continue on through the holidays into next year.
Sweet. So if you don't mind me asking, what type of self-directed account do you loan out of?
I mostly out of my self-directed traditional IRA. I also have a Roth as well. I don't have a self-directed HSA, but I'm trying to get one together. And eventually, once we can get into the self-storage thing in a bit, but once I get into that, then I plan to do a self 401k to do what's called a Rob structure.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, the Robs I've heard about, and it seems a lot complicated, but there's a lot of ways to play that I am very um, excited to get to that point where I'm doing a Robs myself.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool tax strategy to pay like next to nothing in taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. The bonus side of what you grow in it too.
Yes.
It's next level stuff. I mean, I know we went probably out of the range of most people, but me and Ron are both in Aspire, and you learn about that in the wealth side of Aspire, and so which is pretty cool. So you got your Roth. Are you just doing small deals with your Roth then, or?
Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I also have another private lend from my Roth that I've lent with a person that I've already lent to before. So that one's already paid back. So I lent again because now we've established that trust for that relationship. And so that one is actually coming due at the end of this month, I believe.
Sweet. And still with that, you're playing and making sure it's secured with real estate too, not doing,
Yeah.
yeah, sweet.
Yes.
Smart
Yeah.
move. I like that too. I mean, obviously I see the ones in there that come across, and some of them are have been pretty wild. Well, I need to do a retreat, and so I'm borrowing this at this percentage at whatever, and I'm going to go do this retreat. Treat. I'm like, not with my money. You're not.
I actually just got a recent email and ask for I don't remember, I think it was like for 20,000, $30,000 or something for like a personal loan. I'm like, what? No way. I'm not doing that. Do I look like a do I look like Visa? I don't think so.
Sweet. Bill, you got any questions, man?
Yeah, as when you said about asking certain questions to qualify somebody in early in the conversation, it was I was just wondering what are some of the kind of questions you would ask to, you know, qualify somebody there.
Yeah, the big thing is who have they borrowed money from before? And if but basically asking for references. Who have you borrowed from before? Can I contact them? If they try to ditch the question or kind of like, oh, well, it's been good. I try to give you any kind of BS. Brew, red flag number one.
Mm.
So, um, that's probably the best one to do. And then everything else is just like, all right, great. And um, for what projects, what positions are these lens in? Just asking just your very general questions like that.
Sweet, that sounds good. Yeah.
So, Ron, you're going into self-storage now. Are you going to do that as a business model or
Yes. So after we closed on the flip, well, actually before that, I started pivoting into self-storage back in February, and only because the market had changed for the residential market.
Mhm.
So I decided to, rather than try to do another flip in the area where it was just gonna basically sit, um, a lot of things were going on at the time, and that's I mean, I wanted to get into self-storage anyway. And I had wanted to do that since June of 2024 after I went to a 3-day master class in Indianapolis. And since then, I've just been like, oh man, it's the thing I want to get into. Um, I like self-storage because of its recession resistant place. The cap rates on it can be very good depending on the market, depending on how much improvements are made on the property. And the cash flow could be also very good, especially if you're in a growing market as well. So you can buy them low and then improve them and then get the market rental rates up and start getting more positive cash flow on it for that property. Now, it wasn't until recently that I needed to kind of figure out what am I going to do? Just like own a bunch of self-storage units and then what? It felt like I needed something else that kind of like drove me to want to do this. And I think you guys just went to the second Salt Lake City event, right?
Yes.
Right. So I went to the first one back in July, and the three coaches basically helped me figure out what my the Mount Everest could is for doing self-storage. And that was fantastic. And once I got clarity on that, then that really invigorated me to dive more into it. So, I like I like the idea of wanting to provide back to my community. And it's really kind of the other thing I got into real estate investing because at first I wanted to help solve a lot of the homeless problems that we have in my community in the Phoenix area. So that's why I was looking at multifamily or co-living, and just trying to find some or trying to build some um, uh not home improvement, what's the home affordability
Mm,
for my community. And then once I pivoted away from that because of the current market conditions, I'm like, well, can I do that with self-storage? And then, Jesse and the other coaches helped me figure that out. So I was like, great, this is fantastic. This is exactly what I want to do now.
nice. So can you tell us in what exactly your Mount Everest is now?
Sure. So with every facility that I own, I am going to basically donate like a certain percentage of my units to help those that are in need, whether they're homeless, whether they're in domestic situations, whatever distress situation that folks are in, they will have a place to keep their belongings and not have to worry about it.
Wow.
Also, profits that I make from those facilities, I'm going to also donate a certain percentage of those to those shelters, those charities, those organizations that also help those same distressed folks.
Nice. Very nice. It's always better to have a purpose with what you're doing above just money. That's mine and Bill's thing, even though we're doing it separately. We're both in the realm of I want to help with the housing affordability crisis, and Bill's is help with the get veterans off the streets and stuff like that. So it's
Yep,
money comes and goes, and there's thousands of ways to earn it, but the purpose, that's the main thing. And I think, a lot of years I've done a lot of different businesses. I've made money a lot of different ways, but I think now the purpose means more and helps me move toward my goal faster than just, trying to you know, get out the W-2 and never have a W-2 again. I mean, that's a factor, but not near as much as purpose does. So that's pretty cool that
exactly.
you have found purpose in storage units. So if you were going to tell somebody they're looking at real estate, they don't know where to start and whatnot, what do you think is the easiest path to get into real estate?
So when other folks were starting to ask me like, how do I start? I'm interested in doing real estate investing. I always tell them, depending on where they live, right? Look up your local RIA, your Real Estate Investor Association, contact them and see about like sitting in on a meeting and just kind of getting a feel for it and see if it's really for them. Also, I've recommended a book that they should read as well. It's called Start with Strategy. The author is I think his name is Dave Myers. He's part of the Bigger Pockets team. Great book. It really goes into it's pretty easy read. It goes into some great depth on the different types of real estate, like whether you're doing a burr, whether you're doing a fix and flip, whether you want to do a hold, and so forth. So it really it sets that path to see if this is something a person wants to do. And if they get overwhelmed by it, they think, man, there's a lot, then that will also help them make a better decision.
So I don't know if Bill had told you about our event we're aiming on putting on in Dallas in next spring. Did he tell you a little bit about that? So
No.
um, because of where you're at in your real estate deals and whatnot, why would you say it would be a good event for a newbie to come to or somebody interested in investing?
Your event
Yeah,
or
yeah, our
can
event in
yeah,
Dallas
give
on the lending stuff. So basically, we want to make sure that to help people and have professionals in the room to help people make sure they get started in lending, whether it be in their Roth and self-directed accounts, and show them that line of it as well. But basically, the event is to help them make sure they're doing it right and not do the stupid things I've done and the one you're hard going through now and getting that solving that stuff before it happens, you know?
I like the story of how oh gosh, I'm trying to remember what the big um like fund manager is. I think is it Fidelity? I forget. It's uh it's the story that got put on PBS Frontline about 10-ish years ago. The founder of I think it was Fidelity, his name is Jack Bogle. He did an interview and talked about basically how the like companies like Fidelity or Charles Schwab, how they get their money from your 401k from well not your 401k, but from a W-2 contribution in their 401k, right? So the to summarize, it's pretty much like, okay, if you're a W-2 employee, Jody, and you're contributing money from your paycheck and you know it's getting pretty big and companies matching 6% or whatever it is, and you're like, man, I got a nice chunk of change in there, you know, and just can't wait to retire and start spending this money or whatever. And come to find out that when you do get to that point, you only get basically 30% of what you've contributed because over that time,
Mhm.
the fees are coming out from those that are managing your funds, your 401k. And then once I kind of found out about that, well, I mean, I had already kind of known about it, but once I watched that interview, it's about an hour long. It's actually pretty good. You guys should check it out. I was like, what the F? So self-directed, obviously it offers a better option for you to, you know, use all the money you've contributed in and for alternative assets. One of them being real estate, right? You can get a much better return on that. That's basically how what's his name? Peter Thiel, he got turned his Roth IRA into billions of dollars by not, and that, you know, that's just by investing in it, right? Because you're only allowed to contribute only so much per year per IRS standards.
Yeah.
But once you invest it out, whatever you make back, all that return goes back into it. It just compounds, and that's the best part. So it's Mitt Romney. He's the other guy that's done. He's making millions off of his Roth IRA by doing the same thing.
Yeah. I like
So that's yeah.
Mitch's story
Facebook
and how I
people did
heard
that
about
as
it.
well.
Basically, he's limited to the amount he can put in, just like we were. And back in what, 89, I think it was like $2,000.
Right.
In just 2 years, and in 91, it was worth over $100 million.
You're like, how the hell
And
did
it's
that
like,
happen?
how did he do that? Well, he can only put in that 2,000 a year, just like everybody else.
Right.
But who controls your money is important. And in all honesty, the way I like to say that is, who cares about your money more, you or the guy that makes money every time he moves your money?
Hmm.
So that's pretty much the Charles Schwab and Fidelity and them, that they get paid when they move your money. So they ain't going to leave it sitting when it makes them. They're people are people, right? You care about your money, Ron, more than Jody cares about Ron's money, right? And
That's right.
when you give somebody else control of your money, you're expecting them to care about you and your money more than they care about their own family. And
Right.
it just doesn't make sense not to want the control like in the self-directed.
Right. And even then, when you're investing with your own money out of those IRAs, you're getting already better returns because what's the stock market? What's the mutual funds giving back? 5%? Maybe 6? No, you're investing with returns on that are in the double digits.
Yeah,
So, that just makes better sense. So yeah, I'm definitely going to keep lending out of my IRA just to the right people that I know that I'm going to get a strong return on.
absolutely. I like using it for multiple purposes too. So I just loaned on a deal in a fractional deal where it's a ground up build. And because my name is on my IRA account, I get to use it as experience on a ground up build. And since I actually have a property that I plan to do a ground up build on, now I can go to the bank and say, I've actually got experience instead of being somebody that's, trying, I got to go partner with somebody that's got experience to do the deal instead. So I like any place I can
Oh, that's
benefit
cool.
more from it too. And of course, you can benefit from what I think it's up to 6 ways or more with real
Hmm.
estate and your self-directed accounts. It's just untouchable any other way.
Right. So you got your name on the operating agreement that shows that you're like
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice. That's perfect. Yeah, I'm also getting into the lending space too. I'm a private money broker that basically will match a borrower or an investor borrower with a lender and building a platform using AI to kind of expedite that process.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Wow. So how is AI setting your lending up to go better, since obviously you mentioned that, and I know we've been
Hmm.
playing a lot with AI lately myself. So
My God, Jody. So this is basically essentially how it works. I call it Tinder for borrowers and lenders. So essentially, the platform is going to be web-based. It's going to be mobile app friendly as well. So let's say, Jody, you need $300,000, right? So like, hey, Ron, I'm looking for 300,000. It's for a fix and flip. This is my initial creds. This is what my experience is, what my credit score is. Basically, you're giving me some top level information and your exit strategy, whether you're going to flip it or you're going to hold it or whatever it is. And I'm like, great. What state is it in? Are you doing it in Southeast, Southwest, or whatever? And then I can, based off of your criteria, as long as you're at a minimum 80% match with my lender's criteria, out of the 100 plus lenders that I currently have a relationship with, then it's going to come back with the top three for you. And that way I can start the process and just reach out to those lenders and say, hey, this is Jody. He's an investor. He's looking for funding for his project. What do you think? So at the possibility of you getting 3 term offers, I don't know, I don't know, man. You tell me, how does that sound?
yeah, sounds pretty good to me, except I won't be doing the fix and flip. I do fix and holds, but I like
Right. I mean, I just use it
yeah,
as an
yeah.
example, but that's
I know.
that is the premise of what I'm building.
Nice. I would like to see that after it's done, see how we can um, help you with that and how we can get more use of that as we go too. So, um,
Absolutely.
What's
And you should
the
own that
best
inside
ways?
your Roth so that your Roth is making that income every time you do that also. So
What's that, Bill?
you should have your company, your Roth company own that process so that every time you make a fee, it's going into a freebie. So you're not paying taxes on all that.
Right. So during the beta process, just obviously, I'm not going to charge anything to the borrower. I'm not going to charge anything to the investor. It's going to come out of the lender side because they're going to be the one benefiting from it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
But as your company
initially,
owns it,
it's
you're still going to get a fee, and that fee would be tax free if you own it by yourself.
yeah. So that's the whole plan, right? So it's and I'm still going to get a point or whatever it is my broker agreement is with the lenders. But there will also be a cost of like, hey, we want to continue business, then this is the new fee that I'm going to be adding on in addition, or maybe just build it into the broker fee. I don't know.
Nice.
That's the best way I can see monetizing it. There's one other company out there that's sort of doing it, except they are just bringing in borrowers or investors to their GPT. And then what are like, oh, put in your same idea, put in your creds, put in your information, and then that information gets shot off to their brokerage where they just only work with their products.
Yeah.
And they're charging the user, the borrower, a subscription fee for it. It's like $200 a month.
Oh,
You want to
wow.
continue using us? Yeah. So I'm already going to undercut them by not charging them at all, and it's all going to come out of the lender side.
Yeah, there's plenty to come out the lender side anyway to where you don't have to nail the borrower. I like that.
Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll have to get you back on definitely when as you get that built and everything so we can help people.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about it. So this is something I never thought I'd like get back in IT in this way, but this is a great way.
Yeah. It's a whole lot
You're
more
doing
fun
it
this way,
now,
right?
right?
Absolutely. And that's what I love
Anytime
about
you
it.
add that knowledge to it, you might as well do it.
What was that, Bill?
Anytime you can add that extra skill that you had from your past, you can bring that into play and you might as well use it, right?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So Ron, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you, man?
Follow me on social media. My Instagram handle is RW Mora. LinkedIn, Ron Dash Mora. I think that's what it is. And people can also find me on Facebook as well.
Sweet. Well, appreciate your time, man, and we'll have to definitely do this again. And as you grow more, get more stories out of you because I feel there's a lot more coming.
Yeah. This has been fun. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Y'all,
having
this
us.
has been Bill and Jody on Bank on Purpose, and today's guest, Ron. Y'all hit him up, show him some love, get following on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. That's you want to stay caught up with him as he grows and grows, and see what you can learn as he learns it.
Outstanding.
Have, have a great
Thanks,
one.
Ron, for being here.
Thank you,
Thank
Ron.
you, guys.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
man.